you want? I said, you think I want to go do that? No. The fuck no. No, why would I want to do that? Yeah, no, that's the way I felt even whenever I was a kid.
Off I go then.
Right, to work your ass off. So I'm a very pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of guy because that's what I seen as a masculine figure when I was growing up. With that,
I think the truth is that he's right. I mean, like and this is a problem that a lot of like I think younger people have is that
job's done.
It's very easy to like hate the pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality, but it does work, and it works at a much higher ratio than recording a video for TikTok in your car. And I'm not saying it works every time, but there is if you look at the ratio of effectiveness of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps versus recording videos about how bad the economy is, yelling at a phone, I mean, unless you become a YouTuber, you're probably going to be better off with the bootstraps.
All right.
So I think that in this case, like, I think they're both right. Where it's like, it shouldn't be like this, but it is.
Being said, if you want Gen Z to believe in capitalism, you can't allow companies and corporations to come in by 20...
If you want people to believe in capitalism, you have to give them a achievable capital that they can work towards. Like, that's the whole idea of capitalism. Like, if you can't work towards capitalism, if you can't work towards capital, why the fuck would you want capitalism?
Off I go then.
Well, it makes sense, right? Sure.
Job's done.
25% of the single-family homes in America boost up the prices, charge exorbitant amounts of rent, tell Gen Z that they're basically never going to be able to afford a home, and then act surprised when they start turning into communists. The percentage of single-family homes in America that was...
To be fair, I think, like... I mean, this same shit happened 10 years ago, whenever I was 23, right? Like, you remember, like, Occupy Wall Street and everything that happened then? That was a really, really big thing. And then it just kind of fizzled out and people moved on. So yeah, I think this will keep happening like every 10 years. It happened in 2008? Yeah, but like Occupy Wall Street I think was like 2010. I feel like it was like around then. I could be wrong, but like that's how I remember it.
Yes, my lord.
By companies and corporations pre-COVID was 5%. Now it's 25%. And you know the solution that they try turning into communists. The percentage of single-family homes in America that was owned by companies and corporations pre-COVID was 5%. Now it's 25%. And you know
yeah, I think this is a game exploit that needs to get patched, and I don't really know how. I don't think the devs have figured it out yet. But this whole exploit where these companies buy up houses in mass, and like one guy or like a group of people owns 3,000 properties, or one guy owns 150 properties. This is going to go towards neo-feudalism. It is. That is what's happening.
Yes, my lord.
Monopoly housing, it is. It's basically feudalism.
Off I go then. Yes,
solution that they tried to push to Gen Z, tiny homes. Don't nobody want to live in an $80,000 shed.
Nobody wants to. I mean, I do know one person who lived in a shipping container. But otherwise, he's right. He's absolutely right. Yeah, nobody wants to live in like one of these pods.
More gold is required.
With plumbing, people want enough space for a family. And the craziest part is nobody's talking about the death of the middle class. It seems like the right's focused on Israel and the left is focused on identity politics. And when they do talk about classes, it's never...
Yeah, and then you got people like this guy who's focused on being able to fucking afford a house, and he's losing his goddamn mind sitting in his car.
Never the middle class because it's not polarizing enough to get votes. So it's always tax cuts for the rich or more welfare programs for the poor. They never talk about the middle class. And it's such a divide and conquer tactic. And if you look, you can see it. Everybody's talking about what group they identify with, and nobody's talking.
I'm gonna get into a conspiracy theory, right? I mean, I've already had like one group of people getting mad at me this week, right, for the Israel-Palestine stuff. Let's go for number 2. I think that the reaction to Occupy Wall Street was an intentional push of identity politics to divide people and make people less likely to focus their anger on the upper class. I I think that it was done on purpose.
Yes, job done.
It was a top-down agenda that was created by different like media organizations. Yeah, I think it happened.
Job done.
Because the reason why is that if I was Rupert Murdoch, that's what I'd do. No, like, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. So it's like, yeah, I think about it. It's like, oh, would you do that? Yeah, for sure. Because it would work.
Talking about the fact that the middle class can barely afford food. And let's just be honest, our government on both sides is no longer working for the best interest of the people. They're working towards the best interest of the people that make the millionaires and their campaign done. You can't tell Gen Z that they got to work a full-time job, drive Uber.
Well, there's also another big problem, too, is that you can't have complex campaign messages because the average voter is stupid. And that's why all of the different campaign conversations and political conversations are devolving into, do you support genocide or not? Do you support trans women competing in women's sports? You know, like, let me think of some other ones. Should we have unlimited immigration into the country? Should you allow every single drug? And so, like, gas price, right? And so, like, yeah, dead birds, yeah. Like, and that's another one. That's a great, that is a perfect example. Dead birds. The idea that one of the problems with wind turbines is that they kill a lot of birds. Or, sorry, like wind power. Do you want to know what percentage of birds are killed by wind turbines? It's like 1 or 2%, guys. Do you know what kills way more birds? Buildings. Birds fly into walls because they're stupid, and that's why they're not dinosaurs anymore. They're so stupid. They're birds. They just fly into a wall. They fly into a window. Like here.
The dirt and stick. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Quick. Can't quite get that launch angle down yet. Working it. Nope, he ain't going anywhere. No. Worked all night to get these seats. And he's going to perch in left field. No. There he goes. Big arm. Cruise control now. Ran into the scoreboard. Down goes the goose. Oh, the poor thing.
He's okay. Thankfully. They're so stupid, man. They're so dumb. So that's where the birds are getting killed by. But the idea that these wind turbines are like, you know, blenders, and they're just fucking killing every single bald eagle that exists in the world, and it's a fucking, like, just a massacre, and it's just bird after bird after bird, just killing them one after another. Like, that's such a stupid thing to think, but it's easy to visualize. It's accessible. It's a constant link runner. Yes, exactly. It's like a fucking you know, a slaughterhouse. And so that's the reason why also is because you know, as people get dumber and you want more people to vote for you, like you think about like how many people is a conversation about interest rates accessible to? I'd say like maybe 10% of the population, of the voting population, can understand and appreciate a conversation like, and 10% is probably generous, right? But how many people can understand birds getting killed by a wind, by a fan, right? A wind tunnel. A lot of people can understand that because everybody's seen a bird fly into a wall. You see what I'm saying? So basically, politicians have min-maxed voting in the democratic process to focus only on the lowest common denominator values and make them as simple and black and white as possible in order to make it to where more people can understand and vote for them. They've been min-maxed. A lot of people understand war. Yeah, you're right about that. No, I think that's what's happened too.
In their spare time, and they're never going to be able to afford a home because they're going to get outbid by a corporation and expect them to believe in capitalism. This is not going to work.
These are the people that actually decide basically everything on behalf of the entire country, where our money gets spent, how much we pay in taxes, whether or not TikTok gets banned, what's considered freedom, what's not. These people probably don't even know how to attach PDF files to it. These people probably...
That is... Your take has nothing to do with the video? It does. The reason why it has something to do with the video is that it makes it harder for people to hold politicians accountable for bad financial policy and bad types of like financial and social programs because people don't understand them as well. That's the reason why. It's like that message just isn't as accessible. That's my point.
These people haven't worked a real fucking job in probably 30 years. And also keep in mind that once you get voted into one of these political positions, you get paid minimum like $200,000 for the rest of your life. So they can just sit in Congress, do absolutely nothing, and just age gracefully, in quotation marks. The worst part about elderly people being in political power is that they're not even going to have to live through the decisions that they are making on behalf of everyone else. They'll be gone by the time the actual real consequences come from their actions that they're deciding on right now. It just makes me sick. And if you look down there, I don't see a single person that looks like they are even at the age of 40. Every single one of these people is 60 plus, and there's a reason for that.
Now that we talked about
I disagree with that, by the way. I disagree with that mindset. I think that's silly. Because I think a really good argument against that is Bernie Sanders. I don't think that we should have term limits because if we have somebody who's good at their job, I don't want to get rid of them for an arbitrary reason. I think and also, there are also politicians and people that are young who are also incompetent and stupid. It's not like like old people have a monopoly on being stupid. I mean, maybe with computers they do. But with a lot of other things, no, I don't think that's the way you should look at it.
And Z, let's talk about the boomers for a little bit. This rant is inspired by one of my favorite comedians, Tim Dillon. The boomers are extremely selfish and condescending, and they've convinced themselves that the only reason they prospered is because of hard work. They started with the sexual revolution to rebel against their parents, and then those hippies turned into capitalists and materialists. And to be honest, the sexual revolution wasn't even to rebel. It was just a selfish desire to indulge in sex. And because they came from strong nuclear families,
my dad's take on this is that as soon as the Vietnam War was over and the draft stopped happening, a lot of this shit cut the fuck out. And he thinks that a lot of the reasons why this happened is just simply because people didn't want to get sent over to fucking Vietnam.
many of them ended up getting married. They bought houses for $30,000, and they love to brag about how that house is now worth $500,000. They got all the benefits of the nuclear family, and then they taught their kids they don't need family, they just need a Ferrari. Now they're hogging up all the real estate and all the positions of power. People who haven't worked for 30 years are making decisions on middle-class people that got to work for every day. They refuse to acknowledge the fact that their grandkids can't afford a $400,000 three-bedroom home.
There it is. Yeah, see, that's exactly, yeah.
Power, they want to find their own pocket. It's absolute insanity.
I saw this the other day, and like this is a good example of this, which is like kind of crazy. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. No. Yeah. So Jeff Goldblum refuses to leave money for his kids. He says row your own boat, which is like, this is apparently not completely true, but it's the same mentality, right?
wrapped around the idea that hard work pays off, and that's because they lived in a time where one person could work a job and afford a home.
Well, I do think hard work does pay off, and it pays off at a much higher ratio than complaining about capitalism. It does. That's the bottom line.
I'll take care of it.
Like, I understand that it doesn't always pay off. But the truth is that if you don't work hard, the chances are that you will not be successful, and you won't make any money, and you're going to be fucked. Not anymore. Well, like, so if you had a kid, would you tell your kid to work hard, or would you tell him to just lay around and blame the government for everything? What would you tell somebody that you cared about? Because I would tell them to work hard. Lay around? Well, a mix of both. Yeah, sure, right? But like, what I'm saying is I would tell them to work hard, because even if it doesn't work as much, it's still better than nothing else. Like, I understand that like people are demoralized and they don't want to do it, but I mean, you don't really have a lot of other options right now. Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, that's really the truth, and it doesn't, like, and this is the problem, right? It's like, if I say this, it doesn't, people might be thinking that I'm justifying it, which I'm not. I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying that it is true. There are a lot of things that shouldn't be true, but are true. And I think this is an example of that. Wrong, though? No, I'm not. I think that if you take 100 people that make TikToks about how bad capitalism is, and you take 100 people that work hard at their job, and you did a 10-year experiment of who's better off 10 years later, I bet the people that are working hard would be better off. I do. I'm sorry, guys. I really think that's the case.
Job done. Right. Job done. Yes, me lord.
And I'm not saying that every single one of them would be happy. There's a lot of people that work hard and they still lose. But there's a lower ratio than people that don't. And that's the only thing I'm trying to say. I think this is indisputable.
The town is under siege.
Refuse to acknowledge the fact that the world is different, mostly because of their decisions. We need young, ambitious leaders that are going to be alive for the next 20 years to help us make decisions on what's going to happen in the next 20 years.
Bag of bushings. This bag of bushings, stamped out by machinists. Don't need a high school diploma. There's not anything high tech about this. All of this bag is compliant with the FAA specifications. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag?
There are some people who say that I'm wrong about this. I will actually accommodate a couple of these people and like just listen to what they have to say. So if you want to type out like what you think, go ahead. But yeah, give it a minute.
I don't know.
$90,000.
Dude, you could buy it, bro. I'm pretty sure. Oh, if that bag was full of cocaine, it would be cheaper.
Dollar bag.
Oh my god.
Any jet turbine just to operate. So the exorbitant cost due to DoD only buying commercial parts from the OEM, essentially sole source, is literally driving us out of business. The interest on our debt alone is now exceeding for the first time in American history. The entire.
Has anybody ever asked the question, why is it that we need to buy even more of these jets? Because I feel like that's kind of like another subtext here, is that yes, obviously these screws and bolts are overpriced, but maybe we don't need to be buying them, and maybe we don't need to be creating a need for them in the first place. Okay.
Defense budget. We can't afford it.
Bingo. People do not want to see.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and what is this here? You can't accommodate trailer park life. Come to the trailer park, bro. Okay, let's just, I don't want to waste my time with this. This is stupid, and it's just going to waste everybody's time. Yeah, working hard has a higher rate of success than sitting around and complaining about capitalism. Sorry to say.
their tax money go to wars in other countries that they cannot even point out on a map when we have homeless people shooting up fentanyl on the street. And everybody's talking about Israel or Palestine, not even realizing that it's another divide and conquer tactic. I'm team no World War III. How about that? I'm team no World War III. Let's help the homeless people here in America with our American tax dollars. Also, why are we expected to give more money to a government that's been proven to be bad with money? What other entity gives that privilege? If I was a person or any other entity and I walked into a bank with the spending habits that America has, they would laugh me out of the room.
I know who. People that give student loans.
But us as Americans who go to work every day are just expected to give them more money when they've proven to be bad with money.
What needs to be happening here is that black Americans, white Americans, Latino Americans are all getting together and saying, we're fucking Americans, you're not going to fuck with us. If they're Americans, you come here from your shithole country, and you fuck with us, you're going to be dealt with. That needs to be the policy. Running up and down the streets, punching people, fucking doing whatever they want, beating up the cops, flipping the cops off. They divided us intentionally in 2020 so that this exact unity wouldn't happen when they did this shit.
I think he's completely right about this. Like, he's 100% right. I totally support this. Outside of the flicking the cops off, I think if you want to flick the cops off, that's okay.
People are starting to figure it out. I love it, dude. I love it. People are starting to get it. It's Americans, and then it's other people. It's not black, it's not white, it's not gay, it's not straight. It's Americans, and then it's other people.
Exactly. Americans have fallen victim to comfort due to materialism and the idea that tolerance is a virtue. So now we've gotten to the point where we're tolerating.
And by the way, this shit will happen again. Like, the next time we have another 9/11, like, this will happen again. Because, like, after 9/11, this happened. Like, it was like a Helldivers 2 situation where it's like everybody wanted to join the military, people were super patriotic, and like everything was going on, and everybody was on the same side for like, I don't know, I'd say like 5 years, right? Maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. And yeah, but it takes like some sort of like other force for people to like unite against them. There's like I think it's like an ancient like Arab quote, I'm not sure. It's me against my brother, me and my brother against my cousin, me and my brother and my cousin against the world. And I think that that's really kind of what happens, is that as soon as you get to the point where there's no other outside force, people start fighting with each other.
Anything, as long as there's some level of comfort. The rich know that in tough times, people need someone to blame. And so Americans have been divided into so many subcategories that we forgot that we all Americans. Our government is supposed to work for the people, but they're being bought out by rich lobbyists.
Somebody said in chat, my name is Muhammad, I can feel that way. No, you're right, bro. Like, you got fucked. You 100% got fucked. Like, that's why I explicitly did not say, you know, like, Muslims, Arabs got massively fucked with that.
Is to enforce their decisions based on campaign donors. And we don't even know that we all get been donors because everybody's blaming their hardships on the opposing. We gotta remember that white Americans are the same people that dared overthrew a government over a 2% tax. American black people are the same people that endured through slavery, built Black Wall Street, and were the highest married demographic up until the 60s. It's almost as if we've forgotten who we are and the types of people that our ancestors had to be to get us to this point. The companies that are in power and our current government's worst nightmares for Americans to remember who we are and who we came. We've become tolerant of treatment that our ancestors would never allow. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or an L, and give me the HBO special as a help with our special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.
Yep, I completely fucking agree with, like, literally everything. Like, I totally fucking agree with that. Absolutely. Link the video, I want to like it. Yeah, this guy's great. I love this guy. This is the first video I've ever seen of his. I'm glad I watched it. Yeah, this is really, really good. Give me a second. I'm so good out. Have you seen Rock, Paper, Scissors too? Yeah, I think I did actually the first time. I'm not going to watch that right now. Make decent videos. Yeah, it's like, I think that's one of the issues is that there's like a lot of problems that, and this is a big difference that I think people have, is that they mistake like patriotism or nationalism for patriotism. and I think that it's people view somebody like this guy, or for example, like this guy here, as like criticizing America and like hating America. And like, I don't think that whenever you are critical of the government necessarily means you hate the government, right? It's not like you hate the country, you just don't like it being the way that it is right now. And yeah, he's trying to fix it. Yeah, exactly. Like that's like the opposite even. And so I didn't feel any hate from him. Yeah, but like you'll see people that say that both government and companies are using the power of stupid, which I think 100% works with dividing the people. Well, the reason why the power of stupid works is because there's a lot of stupid people. I mean, duh, right? I mean, fucking duh. Yeah, that's the reason why. That's why it happens. There's just a lot of dumb people, so big surprise, they get fixated on it.
Easy. All right. Ready to work. Job done. Job done.
Looks like Twitter is mad about me messing with Bailey's first and then his wife's to build a rust base on campus and wanting to build glass. But it guys, about nothing by anybody. But didn't want him to go to drive some peaceful encampments. I was there. Demands about the tuition dollars we spent on a state currently exploring the village.
Off I go then. All right. Job done, Lord. Job done.
Our
I
town
have my idea right here.
Job
Right
done.
walk off. Oh, look, they're making the burn. This is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm a UCLA student. I can just go here. Go here. Our school. They're not letting me walk in. Why can't they go? Will you let me go in? This can be over in a second. Let me and my friends go in. Then you can move. Okay, we're going. I have my hands up. I'm not hurting them. I'm not hurting them. That's what they do. That's what they do, everybody. Easy. You guys are promoting graduates. You guys are promoting kids. We're UCLA kids. Let's go. You guys are fake. You're UCLA street.
Well, this is a lot of things. It's fake. You think these are all hired actors?
I have my ID right here. I'm going to walk off. Not by the security guard, but by you. Well, they're making the burn. I'm doing this is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Listen to this. I'm a UCLA student. I deserve to go here. We pay tuition. This is our school. They're not letting me walk in. I'm not over there. I want to use that in. Why can't you let me go in? This can be open.
People don't know that they're ready to
My
stop.
friend.
Phoenix. No, Brendan, it's just kind of a mistake. Chelly's kind of a mistake. You know, chat is like you don't even want to say. This is a Zionist agitator, counter protester, really trying to enter the character box. Okay. Chat. This is okay, chat. This is not a take, chat. It's not a take. It's a question. Chat. If the protest is peaceful and it's done on public grounds, right? Technically, shouldn't, even if you're on the opposing side of the conflict, be able to walk in? Because it's peaceful, it's public, you should be able to walk in, no? Even if it's not public, no. I don't think that these guys have the upper hand on, like, deciding what is the defendant space. I don't think it's
They are freedom fighters, and they are heroes for a new world. And as in so many ways, as it is in so many ways, as it shuts down the supply lines of genocide, Yemen is leading the way. Because Yemen declared Israel the United States. So I want all of us to not be silent about the resistance, to not be silent about the orange resistance, and to be loud and clear about it, and to say that it is true that October 7th changed the world, because October 7th not only threw the mask off of these imperialist states who use language of human rights in order to invade countries and depose their leadership and destroy self-determination, but what it also did is it showed that Palestine is almost free of Zionism from the river to the sea. And it showed that the people of the region, from Palestine to Lebanon to Iraq to Syria to Iran to every country, every people in the region, and all of us around the world are part of an international resistance movement that is on the path to see the region free of imperialism and all of our world, a new collective liberation for all of humanity.
I'm trying to learn about this, but I don't think this is the correct source for that.
Hamas, Islamic Jihad.
Democracy basically
What's the move to this? I don't seem to alarm anyone. They're like a little movement. Enter your camp. You guys are moving. Guys. Chat, I'm not gonna be at it back. I feel like sometimes Hassan, like, will try to die on the move, but not worth dying on. I feel like even if it's one instance or whatever, even if it's just one time, it still has validity. That even in a world where it's having only one single time, it still holds value.
That's what they do, everybody.
New Palestine terrorists from the US. XQC excuses. I just wanted to say that the stream with Jesse was one of the funniest streams. Also, I think I've been traumatized by the monkey incident. I can't stop thinking about the monkey incident.
Yeah, I think the problem with this is that, like, this gets likes. Like, with all the trend conversation, this guy who color, this is no. Yes, it is. No, it's not. They post a video of other golden art. Hunter Hunter disagree. It's just wrong. Like, why can't you just be right? How was that him? I don't see the guy in there. What?
Of Twitter, so he's actually very...
No response? Shocking. Sand, fire, light, I don't know what those are, but I'm not gonna partake in that stuff.
What is it?
Game.
Yes, my lord.
Sand lover? I'm not calling you that, bro. Sorry. Like what? Firefly lover? Like what? Seven streets were being bloody in the middle class. I can understand they aren't. It's one of the angle that you can shoot others in a game of bloody water class in extra encampments. Well, I mean, that's not my son video, but it's whatever.
Oh my god.
Zach Law?
Fucking brain. One aside is blocking you from going to class. Brother, there is no blocking someone from going to class. Zionist, anti-Zionist, doesn't fucking matter. You are trying to desperately hammer on a narrative that is not happening. Okay? And you are desperately trying to do this by basically removing the faulty premise that you personally believe that isn't real, that did not happen, and instead move on to the second point of the conversation. Like, we haven't even addressed the first thing that
go around. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You guys are hyper-focusing on this one instance, and I am so stupidly hammering on the perspective over and over again that this is false. They are on a fucking lawn outside. Okay? It is so wild that people are trying to desperately maintain this narrative that this guy is very openly trying the encampment started with the goals of grouping charlatans like you into defending him. Yeah. That student is Eli Seabest, a former Stand With Us intern. He was antagonized. By the way, Stand With Us is an Israeli government operation. They get grants from the Israeli Knesset. So the idea that they're like an American 501c3. Yeah.
I'm always going to learn, bro. If somebody explain to me, chat, I will. Chat, it's hard to be chat to be behind people that do dumb shit. I try not to fucking, I just don't, for me it's like
They need food, they need water, they need medical supplies. The Muslim Ummah is getting united. But the real chance is for helping them yourself. So let's answer that call and earn the infinite rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for relieving the donate right now.
this is branded chat. They should the people that were arrested on that day for like being there, whatever. They should just told them like whatever charge that you would be getting. How about you get none of it if you fucking sit here and clean this bitch ass up? I mean, if you put the shit up, I mean, you can think, boom, done. Now you have all your staff done. Okay, you don't want to do it? Okay, go to jail then.
Campus right outside of Royce Hall. Dozens of people just about an hour ago started.
I mean, that's the most community service that you can do. It's exactly what you did wrong or bad or, I mean,
because we did see a number
I think
of
garbage is wrong.